All right, so let's get to it since I lost time on the computer issues. Parabola, great. Okay, now I don't want to confuse you, but this is not what we're doing today, but I just wanted to reference that you've done graphing parabolas before. It's happened. Where's everyone going? Why is everyone leaving? All right, people are popping in and out. All right, and I just want to reference that we've done this earlier this year, and you did this a lot in Math 2, Math 3, but these were always for parabolas going up or down, and up and down only. I want you to focus on those were parabolas that had x squareds only. All right. So what is going? Oh, for the love of dog! Oh, can you hear me now? Thanks, Ali. You couldn't even see my face either. I can't stand this Google chat. Like randomly, I'll get in and the mic will be on and my camera will be on. Then another time I'll get in and my mic will be off and my camera will be off. Oh, having a rough Friday. Anywho, so parabola, conic sections, blah, blah, blah. I hope I'm taping this. This is great. We're now 12 minutes into class. I had to restart my computer, blah, 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 blah. Fun times. Then, of course, we know that if A was negative, this would be going down. If A was positive, it'd be going up. Well, today we're going to change the game. We're actually going to change the game completely. We're not dealing with these forms at all. We're going to change the form a little bit because there is something that happens with parabolic motion. Let's call it out in space. So say something was said to be parabolic in motion. Then this is what happens. Its motion is dictated by a couple things out in space. Hopefully I'm not wrong, a physics person, if they're listening in, but I have a feeling this is correct. Something then is located here that's dictating this direction. And then some imaginary thing I would think is out here called a directrix. So a focus and a directrix in some way, shape, or form through gravity makes this parabolic motion happen. Let's just pretend. And what is true is the object is always equidistant from this focal point, which might be some planet, and also equidistant to this imaginary line called a directrix. So those two distances I just showed are equal. So at any point in this traveling thing, that holds true. This distance back to the focus, D1, is equal to this distance to a line. That's got to be perpendicular to that line. All right. So D1 definitely equals D2. Just like this, when the object's over here in its flight path, D3 equals D4. All right. True throughout the whole thing. That's why these things dictate the motion itself. Okay. All right. So do you need to know that? I don't care, Mr. Samulus. Well, that's fine. All I'm establishing is we have to find a directrix and a focus. Now, that's the difference of looking at a parabola or parabola in a different way. So this is true. And since that's true, we will have to find a focus and a directrix now. Little different approach to parabolas. The also difference is we're going to be doing right-lefters, which we've never done before. Okay, so trying to be cryptic so you don't panic about what the notes show next. It's really not that bad. Since the directrix and focus are important shaping a parabola, we will have to find them in order to sketch graphs. Here we go. Anyone have Adriana? That's a big yawn. Luckily, we're not in class. Everyone would faint because you stole all the oxygen. So, did anyone have cereal today? Oh, that makes me so sad. No one eats cereal anymore. Bowl, cereal, table. Okay. Bowl. I would never put my bowl like that, Mr. Samulus, but if you did, cereal, table. You put the bowl like this on the table. Bowl, cereal, table. Technology will be able to make you graph parabolas very simply. I should add to that to make that sound like English. So here we go. Here's our new format. This looks scary. It's not. Here's your new format that you're going to have to memorize. Okay, so our first one we're going to attack is x squared equals 4py. X squared. First of all, listen to me. When you have an x squared, it absolutely positively has to be up or down, because for every y, there exists two x's. Oh, so if I just think that way, I will never screw this up. The only way if each y had two x's is if the parabola went up or down. So that's my only two options. I'm really trying to help people because this is what happens. I get coin flippers. I get people that draw x squareds going right, left, which if you just think about what I just said there, you will never make that mistake. And also, that's the only thing you've graphed so far in your life. The only thing you've ever graphed is a y equals an x squared. So of course x squareds go up and down. There is two reasons why you should never screw this up. All right, sorry for yelling at you. Okay, so let's go. Let's get out of there. Let's just go away for a second. All right, remember graphing this? Yeah, I don't know why this happens to me all the time in this program. I hate this program. All right, so y equals 1/4 x squared. This is algebra 2. What's algebra 2? We don't do that in this crazy Lockport. Math 1, math 2, math 3. All right. Remember graphing this where 0, 0 is the vertex? This is not the format that I showed over there. I'm going to change it into the format that we see over there and see how these two graphs coincide with each other. Then, of course, input output always makes me infinitely sad. Students that cannot do that. 2 squared equals 4. 4 times a fourth is 1. Same thing with -2. And then we get this, and this is why this parabola goes up. Mickey Mouse stuff. Well, when I do this new format, and that's what I'm going to do on all of these, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't write this down. This looks like something that has to be memorized. Oh, that looks scary. Don't write it down. Don't. It's serial bowl table. If I write this in the format of this, that means I want x squared by itself. And then for me to get this in the right format, I'd have to multiply both sides by 4. So this is just a rewriting of that formula up there, or that equation in this new formula format for looking at parabolas. Okay, so look at this. And I had a teacher, his name was Mr. High when I was a junior. He's my favorite math teacher ever. He's probably the reason I'm a teacher today. And I remember learning this from him, and I remember him saying, P is the key. And he said it like 34 times in one class. P is the key. X squared equals 4py, x squared equals 4y. In the chat, what is p equal to? And then I could tell you, and don't put urine. It's just a little joke today. What is p? Nobody? So x squared equals 4y. Compare that to x squared equals 4py. What would p have to equal in this little situation here? Or 4 times what equals 4? Emily, is that like your little brother off to the side? I bet you he even knows it. Or sister, or who are you looking at over there? It was an easy question. It's 1. So P is 1. Remember Mr. High? P is the key. So Mr. High said, all you got to know is this goes up. The vertex is at 0, 0, and you P up and you P down to find the focus and the directrix, because serial bowl table, the focus must be in the bowl and the directrix must be the table, and it must be a horizontal line. So watch how this works. Oh, then I'm going to throw out another term. I'm sorry. There's also something called focal width that I'm going to show you later. The focal width is exactly 4, and I'll tell you how this emulates itself in the graph. 2 right, 2 left. These two other coordinates, this is the focal width, and all it does is allow me to find 2 more coordinates. And I'll show you that focal width thing here coming up. And notice the blue graph is exactly the same as the red graph, because they should be. I just wrote it in a little different format with our new way of looking at them. Okay, P is the key. All right, so let's look at one that's going down. Again, don't write this stuff down. This is serial bowl table that takes care of this. And you don't even have to write this. And all this looks like formulas. And I'm going to faint. And oh, my goodness. No. P is the key. So sorry if you can't see this. This says x squared equals negative 16y. Okay. So P, I already gave you as negative 4. So we're going to go ahead and just slap this graph down as our example. X squared, for every y, there are 2 x's. My only choice is this either goes up or down. All right, so I'm hoping that you really embrace that so that you never flip a coin, because I can't help you. If you put this going left instead of down, everything's wrong. Everything. You'll get your focus and directrix and not correct. Oh, I forgot to go back here. My bad, dogs. So this focus is 0, 1. This directrix is y equals negative 1. Y equals. I can't help you if you don't know a horizontal line is y equals a number. Alrighty then. Okay, so you got to know the direction. You got to know that this goes down. P is the key. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like making the focus like a little X marks the spot, because cereal bowl table, the cereals needs to be in the bowl, and then my table needs to be up here. Why is your bowl upside down? 1, 2, 3, 4 up is the directrix. Okay, focal width 16. Just, hold off on that. I'll show you that at the end. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right, 8 left. That's 16. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I didn't prove this in the other one because I didn't really have to. I now prove this now. Here's another thing. Those that know what's going on, you have time to check. You get your test done pretty quick. Wait a minute. Does this go down or does it go left? Let me check this coordinate right here. This is 8, negative 4. Then the other one's negative 8. Let's input, output. Ooh, that's a big number. 8 squared is 64. Negative 4 times negative 16 is 64. That's a discount double check. Input, output. Ended up being true there. And then, of course, or I could have looked at it as another way. Negative 4 times negative 16 is 64. And y squared equals 64. That is why for every 1x, we get 2 y's. So that's emulating that this goes down. So this was just checking. I plugged in negative 4 for x, and then I solved for y, and that's how I got these 2 coordinates as well. So you don't have to do this. This is just checking your work for those that have time to do so. But it also verifies that we did the right thing. All right, let's move on. Okay, so here we go. We got this one. Here is the first time in forever. I was so cute yesterday. I went home. We got a new TV, and my daughters, all 3 of them, were watching Tangled. So I just sat and watched with them. It was funny. I know that has nothing to do with Frozen. Sorry. Y squared equals 4px. For every x, there are 2 y's. For every x, there are 2 y's. The only way that this could go is right or left. So there is no up or downs on this. And I don't have any sympathy for those that make that mistake, because it's common sense that can be used in order to get this taken care of. All right, let's make up one. Y squared equals, let's just say 8x and keep it simple. To the chat, what's P? I'll wait. These kids these days, they never want to answer questions. What are you doing over there, Joe? Anything? I have a couple Joes that could answer that. This is how long it takes people on the internet for someone to just answer what P is. Waiting. Thanks, Aaron. You don't like that awkward silence, do you? No response. Okay. All right. P equals 2. Yes. Okay, correct. P is the key. So since I know this is going right, I hope you know that. A positive direction is right. a negative direction is left. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. And then I'm going to P left. That's 2. And then P, did I say left? That was my right. Right or left. Oh my gosh, left, right, left. And my bowl or my table must be a vertical line. Table's got to be like this. Put the bowl on the table like that. Okay, so now it's a vertical line. I hope I've filled out all those things for what those lines were. Did I? Oh my gosh, what a moron. Okay, this is y equals 4, and this is 0, comma, negative 4 for the focus. All right? All right. Now this is going right. So, and let me do that focal width again. 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this focal width he talks about? I'll have it written down later. But once, we've seen these 4 examples, you'll have it nailed here. And then I can prove it. Input, output. This is 2, comma, 4, 2, comma, negative 4. Watch what happens when I plug in 2. 2 times 8, 16. So what's the square root of 16? Plus or minus 4. For every x, there are 2 y's. You should not screw up that this is going right or left. No way. Unacceptable. Don't write that down then. That's just what I wrote. Oh, I did not write this down. Focus is 2, comma, 0. The directrix is now x equals vertical line. I can't help you if you don't know vertical lines are x equals. We actually did that in chapter P, PR, prerequisite. In August, when we were flip-flopping, in school, out school, in school, out school, in school, out school. All right, just thought I'd remind you of that. Y squared equals negative 12x. Oh, wait, what's P? Someone else said, Joe, 4 times what equals negative 12? Joe Sieber, can you at least answer that? Get you in the chat one time. Oh, Joe, I said your last name. You can sue me. Thank you. Sorry, Joe. Like I said, you can sue me. I said your last name on the internet. You can pull that out and say, look, he said my name. I don't have any money, though, so you're not going to get anything. All right. My 3 daughters sapped my bank account, and my wife. Oh, my gosh. I want to get started about that. Mr. Samuelson and his problems. Okay. So we're going left. So we're going to P left. 1, 2, 3. And then Joe said negative 3. If you said 3, I wouldn't be upset. Thanks, Elizabeth, for going in the chat there and writing that too. Just know that since the parabola is going left, the focus is left, the directrix is right on those moves. Uh-oh. Did I insult Emily? She left. Okay, and then 12, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a grand total of 12. Just know that that's focal width, and we'll officially write that later. Oh, everyone doing okay? Oh, Emily, I thought it was something I said. Thompson, she left. Oh, I said your name now too. There's 2 lawsuits. Joe, you only get half my money now, of no money. Okay. All right. So here's what we just did here. Take a minute to write this. I'm going to take attendance, and I'm going to say all your last names so you can all sue me. Just kidding. I won't do that. Oh, isn't this fun? There we go. Okay, so x squareds are up, down, y squareds are left, right. Find P. P is the key. And then serial bowl table technology takes care of the rest. That's why I shut down those things like in that look like memorization things. Now, memorization is not always the best. It's really not too cool. Thanks again, Ali, for telling me that the mic was off. Otherwise, I'd still be going, and the rest of the people were like, this is the best notes ever. You don't have to listen to a word. Okay, we should be close to having this all done. I'm going to officially have focal width written down there. And that's the only thing you want to know about focal width. It creates these other two coordinates that help me get more shape. Okay, it's that distance through the focus. So that's the good thing as far as memorization. Someone have their mic on? I thought I heard a mic go on like they had a question. No, these absences. I'll tell you, people on YouTube. People are absent so many times, I don't know how they're going to survive in the real world. Absent from work that many times, you're fired. What that translates to in the real world? Nothing. Hey, hi, Alima. Oh, there she is. Just making sure. This is stunning YouTube stuff right now. Don't care. Okay. All right. So I don't have a chance to pause in this movie making software. Okay, so I'm going to move in on this real quick. Don't worry about focal length. That's just P is the key, the P value. Whatever. And then don't worry about axis of symmetry. It just means for one that's going right, left, the axis of symmetry ends up being the x-axis. All right, and that says so right. Okay, just focal width is the name of that thing I was doing to get that graphed. All right, so I don't think I really have to do much on this. This one goes down. Wrong. This one goes left. For every x, just pick an x. X. For every x, there are two y's. Oh, it's got to be this or this. So it's right or left. There's no reason why that should be missed. I'm still going to get it. Still going to happen. All right, P, because of taking and wasting too many times, taking the attendance there is -2. So that means it goes left. It goes left right away just when we see that. We P left, 2. All these vertexes are, or vertices for all these examples so far at 0, 0. And I'll show you how that changes. And then real quick, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's that focal width of 8 in action. And there's your parabola. So vertex 0, 0. I guess it was all over in the notes. This first setup is the vertex is at 0, 0. And then the focus is now I can get a grade schooler off the streets and say, hey, what's this coordinate, little Johnny? And he would say, -2, 0, Mr. Samulus. And the Directrix, maybe a grade schooler can't do this, but a freshman could. Yeah, I'm laying it on thick here. These are things that you should know, that it's x equals as a vertical line. Focal width is just that 8. Yeah, if you said -8, it's technically wrong because it's a distance that they want there. And that's just this distance from here to here. That's why I'm able to find those other coordinates very simply. Making me dizzy, Nadia. All right. Next. Oh, no. Hey, in the chat, put what P is. Let me do something there first, though. It's got to be in the format squared by itself. So I must divide. Fractions. This is calculus. Oh, this is too hard. You guys and your fractions drive me nuts. Mad on a Friday. It's really only 10:54. I feel like we've been here for an eternity already. Bet you feel the same way. Waiting in the chat. This is why we've been here for an eternity. I can't get people to tell me what P is. Just staring at the chat. Aaron, you gonna let this awkward silence keep going again, or that skeleton again? Very scary. There's Jeremy's Jerry Mouse. It's great. Thanks, Lindsay. It's much appreciated. All right. She's right. Really, all you got to do is this. 4P is in the 16/5 position. So set them equal and solve for what P would have to be. Divide or multiply by 1/4, divide by 4, multiply by 1/4, and then cross cancel. So it's really not hard. And actually, I don't have to do a real specific coordinate plane. I just got to do this. Okay, first of all, I should have asked you which way does this go, and it's a positive and it's a y squared. For every x, there is two y's. If you just do that, you know this has to go left or right. In this case, it goes right because it's a positive. I'm at P right for the focus, P left for the directrix. And then that allows me to find this super easy, super fast. Making sure I'm doing this right. Yes, it goes right. Okay, what's the focal width? 16/5. Just note to self that this is 8/5 and -8/5. And those that are fractionally challenged, you do make me sad. 8 plus 8 is 16/5. I could get Lexi Samuelis to tell me that, my 10-year-old. Maybe not the negatives. I don't know if she knows about negative numbers. She certainly is negative, though. Boy, 10-year-old. Whew. She's real snippy at home. All right. Focus 4/5, 0, because I went right. The directrix table is a vertical line, and I went 4/5 to the left. And I guess they asked for that focal width, which is 16/5. All right. Just stalling for those I see people writing, taking their official notes. All right. We're going to move on to changing the vertex. Okay, so all of these, you'll see why these are 0, 0. And it's awesome. I'm skipping that one, too many. Okay, so of course we're going to translate, blah, 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 blah. Give the book credit. Okay, so I liked how I did this back in the past, so I kept it. There's where we had vertexes or vertices at 0, 0 for all of our examples. So you might want to scratch that up there real quick and then compare it to, you'll notice something very similar. We got H's and K's now. This is why I love this format of whoever back in the day, centuries ago, when we had conic sections, decided to have this format for a parabola. Because now we can really compare it, or at least similarities happen between circles and ellipses. Circles and ellipses have H comma K's, which are centers. There's no center for a parabola, but the most important point is the vertex. So H comma K represents the vertex. And notice that H is with X and K is with Y. And it's the same format of opposite in your brain. And if you're screwing this up all the time and getting the incorrect center or the incorrect vertex still by not playing the opposite game, I can't help you. We've had this happen a billion times already. So at some point through rote memorization, this has to click in. All right. Y minus K, this is where people make the big mistake. X minus H when you have right lefter. So just make sure you are aware the Y coordinate of the vertex is with the Y, the X coordinate is with the X. Alrighty then. And I'm not showing you the rest of this. I'm not showing you the rest of this that implies like some sort of formulaic thing, because serial bowl table takes care of all of these things. All right. So all you have to do is find the vertex and serial bowl table from the vertex, and it takes care of it all. If it doesn't ask you to graph, you'd be a silly fool not graphing to play serial bowl table. At least put in a real quick sketch. I'll show you that later when we complete the square. Yeah, we're doing good. 11:20, right? We still have 21 minutes. Oy. Remember, we're doing Hyperbolus Tuesday, and then / review, Wednesday review, and it's go time. Test a week from today. Nice. Alrighty. I don't know what I'm waiting for because that's super short. Okay, in the chat, what's the vertex? Should give like extra credit, but I don't. People that actually care and put stuff in the chat. Luana, you know what they're doing out some of those. Uh-oh. Nice, Jessica. Everyone else fell for the trap. Maybe you can't see that this is a Y too well and this is an X because it didn't come in too good there. But that's a Y and that's an X. So it is -3. This is what I'm talking about, the opposite game. X plus 3, that means -3 for X. Y minus 2, that means 2 for Y. It's not 2, -3. Don't feel guilty. I appreciate you putting it in the chat, but that's a common mistake. Don't ever make it again. That's all we could say, and then you'll be good. And then what I have over here, for every X, there's 2 Y's when you have a Y squared. So there's no way that we should be making a mistake that this goes up or down. It goes right or left. And in this case, it goes right. Right? So I don't know, man. Give you gold here. And then what's P? I'm not going to bother you on the chat. P is 1. 4 is in that position, in the 4P position. It's the only way, P being the key, P would have to be 1. So now what I have to do, again, even if it didn't tell me this, it didn't ask me to graph, you'd be a silly fool not graphing. And then in the future, in a later question, I'm not going to put a coordinate plane. I'm just going to snap it real quick, and then I'm going to P in the right direction in order to find the focus in the directrix. And this is going right, so I'm going to go right 1 and left 1 for the focus in the directrix to ensure serial table occurs. And then I'm also going to use the focal width and go 2 down and 2 up for these other valid coordinates. I'm not going to bore you with the input output checking those points. I think at this point we've established the idea. So I went right once for the focus, and I went left 1 for the directrix, and it's x equals. By the way, if you don't put x equals, you will be marked wrong immediately. So fast your head will be spinning because it's got to be x equals. That's the equation of a vertical line. And focal width is just 4, which we did in the picture. You're not putting focal width in your picture, you make me sad. Lucas, you okay over there? Either one of you. All right, good. Just get worried about what's going on back there sometimes. All right, and I think this one ain't going to be no thing. It's -4 for the vertex, comma, -1, because it is an x squared equals 12y. Who left? Lima, that's a nice color on your ceiling. I like that purplish. Get to see that ceiling every time. It's going down because we have a negative, right? And in this case, for every y, there's 2 x's. The only way that could happen is if y, xx. I lost my pen. Okay, so that could only be going up or down. All right, so P is -3. I think you got that figured out. So here's what we got to do. -4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. This can't be any easier, guys. Really can't. You just have a couple things to memorize and then serial table. Down 3, 1, 2, 3. Up 3, 1, 2, 3. So just the memorization factor. Once you get this locked in, which should be pretty much right now. And then 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little harder to input output when we have a different center. It's not beyond your capabilities, but it's not really the focus of the notes right now. All right, so focus. Hey, I just said focus. -4, and I could get a grade schooler off the streets. I don't know what they're doing on the streets, by the way, but -4, -4 down there. And then the directrix is y equals a horizontal line 2. Okay, and then focal width's already there, 12. Okay, so that should be it. Serial table, just know what direction you're going, find P is the key, and then go in the correct directions for serial table technology. Don't forget about that focal width to get yourself a nice little picture. All right, because guess what time it is now? Completing the square. Now, I'll tell you right now, we've done this so many times. If you can't complete the square and don't even know the starting points, that's on your shoulders. I just don't know what we can do to get you to figure this out. But notice it says find vertex focus directrix. I'll show you what I mean about just, I don't even need a real specific coordinate plane to do that correctly. And Wednesday next week, we're going to do our review is going to be a complete the square situation. And we're going to complete the square on all 4 of our conic sections. Like a sore thumb, parabolas are going to stick out. I said that like Yoda would. Parabolas are going to stick out like a sore thumb because it is so obvious I have a parabola immediately. As a Federmact, your test a week from today, I'm going to have 5 questions that just ask, what is this? Is it a parabola, an ellipse, a circle, or our Monday thing or Tuesday thing, hyperbola? The reason you will know this is a parabola immediately, unless you're silly, is there is only one squared term. Look at all your completing the squares of circles and ellipses, and there are both squared terms, both y and x. And I don't have the time for this, but everyone, if I said in the chat, put what direction is possible for this, you should say right or left, because this is definitely going to be a y squared. So that means I need to get it in this format. There's only one squared term. And by the way, those test questions, when I ask what is this, that should take 1 second. This is not one where you do this. You just tell me, hey, this would be a parabola. But now we are going to complete the square on this. So I got to get it into that form. That's the form that I just, introduced to you. So what does that imply? For a parabola, something a little different happens. I want the squareds on one side, everything that is a non-squared on the other. Look, I'm trying to get this format. So parabolas are a little bit different, and you got to be ready for those differences. Oh, and I left the space here because now I'm going to start the process. This is what I mean about if you don't know what I'm writing next, I can't help you anymore. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Really can't. I know I sound exasperated, but we do so many things so many times over and over and over and over and over. And as annoying as it is, me saying over and over and over and over and over and over and over, that's how annoying it is when I see people still can't start completing the square in this high-level math class. By the way, I want to pull out a 6. And that was 12, but now it turns into 2. Okay, in the chat, one more time, because we do have the time for this. What's P? I'll wait. And then it just shows YouTube how long it takes for people to answer questions. Some A, don't want to, B, so I'll just sit here and wait. Staring at me. This is awkward. It's like an office moment. I love the office, and I love the awkwardness of the office. If we were in class, I'd be like Michael Scott a lot. I'm still waiting. What would P be? Nice. I like how you wrote that too, Aaron. Okay, P is 1/2. Now, this is what I mean about you don't even need a coordinate plane. All you need to know is this goes right. Positive, y squared. So, no. I'm just going to go like this. Goes right. Here's the vertex. I'm going to P right for the focus, and then go P left for the directrix. Okay, that tells me everything. So the vertex, as long as I get that right, 2 comma -1. To go a distance of 1.5, Morgan, good, Julia. Hey, Julia is in the house. Nice. All right. To go right, the focus would go right 1.5. So that means the focus would be at 3.5 -1. I don't even need a coordinate plane. I just need to maybe just picture it, and then I know. And then I know that the directrix is a vertical line. And I went 1.5 left. That means 0.5. Simple, math there. So it doesn't ask me to graph. It just asks me to find this stuff. But this real quick sketch makes it super easy. It really does. All right. And then one more thing to cover before we turn in our old HW. Oh, and I can't wait. I don't know if I told you. 11:45 showing of the newest Mandalorian in my room, and I got like 6 teachers coming in. It's like a little party. -2x squared. I'm even buying lunch for them. I'm so nice. 6x or 16x. Now, this is a parabola. Again, I only see one square term. Is a fat or a mac that's a parabola that could only be going up or down because it's an x squared. All right, so really hammer that down and think about these things. All right, so at least first, knowing that I have to get a parabola form, squareds on one side, non-squareds and other numbers on the other. I will tell you this. If these were even, if this was like 8y minus 28 or something, I would divide both sides by -2 at this point. All right, because then it would take care of a problem with completing the square. But they're not. So I'm going to do it what you would do when you did ellipses. Go ahead and do the factor out the -2. And if you, again, you don't know that you need to do that with completing the square, you are severely and totally and completely behind. I was trying to think of another adjective that went along with totally and completely and severely. All right, and then I put my blank. So this is what we had to do with the ellipses when there was a number in front. You don't complete the square until you pull that and factor that number out. Okay, and then half of -8 is -4, squared is 16. This is not 16, robots. Those that are still putting that. This is -2 times 16, which is -32. So balance, think about balance. What did I actually do to the left side? So I got to do the same thing to the right. So this -2 did create an extra step, a little bit more to do. And then this is -33. And then this is not the correct format. That doesn't belong there. That's not where P is analyzed, as far as what's going on there. So what we're going to do is multiply both sides by -1/2. And hopefully, mathematically, you can handle that. Me just writing that. Multiply -1/2 to both sides. This is what we have. And then I hope mathematically you can think fractionally that P is -1/8. So if I were going to find my stuff on this, I would know this goes down for these two reasons. So I just do this. So I'd go 1/8 down and 1/8 up to find the focus in Directrix. And I can do that very easily. Okay. And that's what the serial table technology does for you. Really makes this simple if you just memorize those couple things. Okay. I hope I was taping there. Oh, there we go.